you know, addressing these disparities. And I think, you know, we have to be honest. A lot of people aren't interested in hearing about HIV prevention. They're not interested in the basics. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I hear sort of bashing condoms. You know, condoms don't matter anymore. It's all white noise. You know, we're tired of it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the 16-year-old kid who hasn't been around like the rest of the 50-year-olds hasn't heard about condoms, you know, and it hasn't been presented in a relevant way. So, I mean, until we get some of these biomedical solutions that everybody is very excited about, you know, we've got to do prevention. You know, we've got to be able to convince people that they're worth protecting themselves and that there are some relatively simple measures that they can take. And, you know, we can't abandon that for something that might happen in the future.
Thank you. Daniel?
I just wanted to make a comment. You know, messages that are directed at individuals typically are used to make people change their behavior, and that's a lot of what we're talking about. But I also hear comments, questions, and feedback that really are talking about, like I said, social and cultural factors. They're talking about institutional factors. We're talking about institutional changes that need to happen. And I wonder, maybe, you know, the next big HIV prevention campaign needs to be about galvanizing people and saying, this is about human rights, this is about equality, and maybe we can use what we know about spurring individual behavior to get people to bang on the doors and make those social and cultural and institutional changes happen. That might be, you know, maybe it's an indirect approach that we need to take.
Thanks, Daniel. So we're going to go to one final question because we're just about out of time. But I just want to go back to you, sir, and just say that you're right. We should have campaigns that reflect you.
Our community.
And I hope, and I hope that we can do that soon. We really try to have, you know, diverse images in our social marketing campaigns, and we have limited funding, and I want to make sure everybody is represented there.
Well, there's someone who does not have a text-driven lifestyle.
I understand.
Or a computer that tells me everything of my life.
You're right.
It is worthless to me. And I haven't seen this video.
I understand. So, Krishna? Actually, I thought of, okay, go ahead.
My name is Darius Mitchell. I'm with OBD, Outstanding Youth for Brothers Fraternity. One thing I just want to add is, you know, we all see these posters and these bowls of condoms and, you know, just, you know, go get tested, and we're like, okay, well, how does that apply to me? I'm either DL and nobody knows about me, or I am transgender and nobody knows about me. So it's really an individuality problem, and it all starts with self. And we have the cultural issues, we have the different kind of community issues, but when it all boils down to it, it comes down to self and self-worth. And us realizing that, okay, we're in a day and age where we can't just be having unprotected sex, and that's just the reality of it. This is not the 60s, it's not the 50s, it's now 2011. So why do I need to go protect myself? Why do I need to go get tested? Why do I need to do all these things? So instead of showing the, I guess, the most common, you know, issues of coming in contact with the virus, show reality situations of different types of people who have contracted this that represent you as an individual.
That's it. That's it.
Any responses or final comments?
I think the gentleman makes a very good point, but what I've also heard people say is that one ad or one PSA wouldn't capture it all. It's a very, very complex issue. Over at GMAD, one of the things we do is that one of the things we say is that anything we do there is HIV prevention. So even if it's just providing a space for young people to meet, getting them off the streets for a few hours, you know, the temptation of violence or unsafe sex it's very, very difficult. And we do some work with the churches, extremely difficult. We do work with parents, or we're starting to do work with parents, because again, it starts with self. This is true. However, when self looks in the mirror and self looks dirty, self looks like an abomination. I have two young people who are living with me right now, homeless, and last week we had a conversation, and I don't know how we got around to talking about it, and they both said, well, you know, we are an abomination. You know, being gay is an abomination. But guess what, we still went out that night to have sex. with whomever. And so it's a very, very, very difficult issue that we're dealing with. We're dealing with young people, even some older people. We have a mental health program, which is the only one of its kind in the state of New York, that would, and it's not just talking about HIV, but being able to address the issues that make people depressed, chronically depressed. The fact that you're a 45, 44, or 50-year-old man who's a professional, but who thinks in his mind that his friends and family don't know he's gay. Now that's a problem, and you've been living with that for so many years, and you have those who are homeless, so homelessness could basically be the driving force for the epidemic. You have the fact that you cannot be who you are. In Harlem, you are a straight man, and then, by the time you ride that train to the village, you feel more comfortable in who you are. It's very, 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 it's challenging. And so, whilst I hear what folks are saying about this particular PSA, the truth, or the fact for me, my truth is that it didn't scare me. It made me stand back and listen to it, and I watched it several times. I still believe in it, because the truth is there are folks who are HIV positive who actually are living with those conditions, And it's not everyone. You didn't say everyone, but some people, you are susceptible to it. But the work we have to do is really how we treat one another. At the end, particularly with this community, particularly if you're black and of color, is how we treat one another. What churches we go to, what they say to us, what they're pumping into us for years and years and years, but that we still keep returning there and pay tithes and all that. The work is not with the GMHCs or the GMADs of this work, but it's really how we look at one another. It's hard work. It's not going to be done by any one organization. And at the end of the day, it's the gentleman's right. It's about the person. But if the way you look at yourself or the way you see yourself is already distorted and flawed, then chances are that you're going to do things that just compound that.
Thank you. Daniel, you want to say something brief?
Yeah. Two quick brief thoughts. So the first one being spoken about earlier, the positive social marketing campaigns that we're coming up with. The Mix is currently working on addressing horizontal hostility. So why as a black and Hispanic, gay, bisexual men, we're not coming together as a community to support each other, rather at times knock each other. So there is still hope for that. And I guess I leave here with some concerns just in regards to the thought process behind the creation of social marketing campaigns, particularly this one. Because what about the scenario of, let's say, this gentleman where he doesn't know it's a teachable moment or doesn't have the skills to articulate to his grandkids, you know what, granddad is not going to pass away, or these are not the issues. Or the individual who walks away and really does not have, sees the ad, and we pray or hope that when they walk away from viewing the ad, it's, I don't have resources or knowledge, so this is going to scare me to not do anything. And I guess where's the thought process behind people having the comprehension to really understand, oh, no, it's an asterisk. It's not this will happen to me. I saw the ad and I walked away, oh shit, am I going to die? So I think where is the thought process behind wanting to ensure that we protect that it's information and not so much, those get marginalized or washed by the side.
All right. Thank you. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to wrap up the conversation. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you to our panelists.